Hi, I'm Dave Fox. Welcome to the Globejotting Guide to Travel Writing. This course picks up where my book, Globejotting, How to Write Extraordinary Travel Journals and Still Have Time to Enjoy Your Trip, and my course by the same title, leave off. We are going to take things to the next step in these lessons. In my book and in my prior course, I teach people how to write travel diaries on the road while they're traveling, how to capture a lot of memories in the pages of the journals that they write as they are on their travel adventures. What we're going to look at in this course is how to then take those raw travel diaries and polish them into stories that you can publish. Now, when I say publish, I use that term very loosely and very broadly in the context of this course. You might be interested in writing magazine articles or newspaper articles and selling them. You might be interested in contributing stories to compilation travel books. You might be interested in publishing a book of your own. Or you might have a smaller scale goal. Maybe you're a blogger and you want to just learn how to write more compelling and catchier content to keep your readers coming back to your blog. Or maybe you just want to share your stories with a few friends and family. You can print them up and pass them out as gifts or email them out. Whatever your goals are, all of that within the context of this course, we are going to call travel publishing. Basically, what we're talking about is writing travel tales for other people to read. And as you're going to discover, writing a travel diary and writing travel tales for others, they're two very, very different writing styles. They go together nicely, they complement each other, but you take a very different approach when you are writing for other people. So that's the key thing that we are going to be addressing over the next couple hours of lessons in this course. And I want to take a look also at that term travel writing before we get going a lot further. What exactly is travel writing? The term travel writing is a broad one. Reviewing hotels and restaurants and airline food is travel writing. Guidebook research that helps readers decide what to see and do in a place is travel writing. Journalism-style factual reports on things like upcoming festivals, earthquake recovery, medical tourism are travel writing. Those aren't the types of travel writing we are going to be focusing on here, but if you're interested in any of them, I've done them all and I'm happy to answer questions in our online forum. Travel journaling is another subgenre of travel writing. Travel journals are like rough drafts that we can trawl for stories once our journeys are complete. And in a short lesson coming up in this section, journaling is going to be our focus as we explore techniques for capturing details when we travel that we can later rework into publishable stories. In the sections that follow, then we're going to use our journals as starting points, as tools to jog our memories. Our journals will transport us toward our final destination for this course, writing compelling personal travel tales for others to read and enjoy. Now, as I was saying before, travel journaling and writing travel tales for publication are two very different approaches to writing. When we journal, what I teach in my journaling course is that you really want to write quickly and don't worry so much about the quality of your writing as much as the quantity of relevant content that you get splashed into your pages. You use your journals as sort of a tool to trigger your memories so that when you go back and read them later, you can really recall what happened on your trip. Well, when we're writing for other people, when we're writing for publication, that is the time at which we need to slow down. We need to start polishing things up. We want to find ways to hook our readers right off the bat and then maintain their interest, really keep them riveted to what we're writing throughout the course of the story, and leave them at the end feeling like they got something out of reading our story, whether it was just entertainment or whether they learned something or discovered something new about the world. When readers read, they want something in return for the time that they invest reading our stories. So we're going to talk about those differences. We'll start with a quick overview of journaling, and then we will move on to the meat of this course, which is how to take those journals and turn them into really powerful and compelling travel tales. So travel storytelling, as we are going to define it in this workshop, is simply the art of storytelling with location and local culture as a backdrop. Here's a quick look at what you're going to learn in this course. I'm going to teach you how to sift through your journals and your memories and identify the thoughts that matter for the stories that you're telling. and then how to weave all of that together, how to finesse that information into a tapestry of words that focuses on a specific topic or a discovery or a transformative event from your travels. I will teach you how to find the unique stories that only you can write. This is important. Practically every destination on the planet has been covered by now by somebody. So the trick to writing something fresh is not finding new destinations so much as it is being able to put your own unique spin on the places that you write about. We're also going to talk about note-taking. If you're interested in writing for others, it really helps if you keep two types of journals. There's the journal that you write in on a daily basis to sort of remember your days, but then also we'll talk about scribbling things down as you go. Really quick notes. We'll talk about how to do that efficiently, different techniques for note-taking so that you get a lot of details down during your day and you don't forget them, and you will have much more vivid accounts of your stories when you sit down to write them. Cliché busting. This is critical to good travel writing. There's so much bad travel writing out there these days, and the problem with it much of the time is that it's just full of cliches. We're going to talk about typical travel writing cliches to avoid, and I will teach you how to write in fresher ways so that you have your own voice. You don't just sound like you're regurgitating the same kind of information that so many other people before you have done. We'll address different types of travel tales: travel humor, travel adventure stories, self-discovery and personal encounters, all kinds of different approaches that you can take when writing a personal travel tale. And we're also going to cover bringing deeper meaning into your stories, writing stories that other people want to read. When you go out and travel, you have experiences that are really cool experiences for yourself, but they're not necessarily interesting for other people to read unless you can put the right spin on them, unless you can bring some sort of a lesson or an observation into them so that people, when they're done reading, go, wow, I really got something out of this. I grew in a way from reading this story. I will teach you how to do that, how to get beyond this tone of, ooh, look what I did and look how cool it was, to, hey, here's a powerful lesson that I have to share with you that I learned along the way on my journeys. We're going to talk about how to structure your stories. How do you draw readers in right at the beginning and then maintain that energy, keep their interest throughout the story, and leave them feeling fulfilled like I was talking about just a second ago. Your cast of characters. This is another big one. Your travels are not only about you. In fact, if you look back on your best travel memories, I am sure that at least some of them involve encounters with other people. Well, we'll talk about how to write about other people when you're traveling, how to quote them. We'll discuss some of the legal and ethical issues about writing about the quirky characters that you encounter when you are out exploring. And as an added bonus, this is one of the things that I love about being a travel writer. It forces me to get out and meet more people, and I'm actually going to teach you ways that you can meet more interesting and quirky characters on your travels so that you will have more people to write about, and you'll have some really, really cool, fun experiences along the way where when you come home, your friends are going to be going, how do all these things happen to you? How come I never get to have these big adventures? We'll talk about how to sort of burst out of your introvert bubble, if you have one, and get out and really immerse yourself more deeply in the cultures that you are exploring. Finally, we're going to talk about getting published, editing your stories, polishing them up, getting them as good as they can be, and then different places that you can share them, whether it's on a personal travel blog, the magazine industry, newspapers, books, the rapidly changing book industry we will touch on briefly. But basically, in the end, you're going to have lots of different ways that you can fling your great stories that you've written out there for other people to read. You know, life to me is just, it's a constant string of intersections. We are always intersecting our lives and our stories with other people. In a very limited sense, you and I are now intersecting because you have signed up for this course and we have the opportunity to interact through our online classrooms that come along with this course. And in the real world, I will call it, I guess this is part of the real world, this cyber world, but when you're out there actually meeting people, encountering people, you might not even meet them, you might just pass a stranger on the street. your story and their story can intersect with each other. Here's a quick example. You're walking down the street, you see a guy drop his wallet. You have a split second to think, what are you going to do? Are you going to pick it up and chase him down and give it back to him? Are you going to leave it there and hope someone else does the right thing? Are you going to be an evil villain and take it and start maxing out his credit cards before he realizes they're gone? That is a choice that you get to make, and whatever choice you make is going to affect the story that he has of his day. So we have our stories intersecting with other people all the time, and it's happening when we're not traveling as well, but it's much more potent when we travel. Our stories are more potent and more powerful because we are very often out of our cultural comfort zones, out of the usual elements in which we know the local rules and we know how things work. And so the confusions that get thrown at us and the challenges when we are traveling end up becoming our best stories. So we've got a lot to cover in this course. Once again, there are these forums that are connected with the course, and I encourage you to use those. Ask me any questions you have. I will do my best to answer all of them. I am a professional travel writer myself, so I am on the road sometimes, and it may take me a week or two to get back to you, but I really will try to answer all of your questions in the forums. I look forward to getting to know you and to maybe reading some of your writing as well. So anyway, we've got a lot to cover in this course, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I thank you for watching this first lesson, and I hope you are as excited as I am about diving into everything else. You've got goals and ambitions and expectations for this workshop, and you're going to be investing some money and a bunch of time into it, and I want to be sure that you meet your goals and that this course meets your expectations. And so for just a second, I want to talk about how to get the most out of this course, because there are a few different ways that you could go about following these lessons, and some are going to work better than others. But if you follow all of these lessons in the manner I suggest, I can almost guarantee you are going to become a more powerful travel writer and a better writer in general by the time that we are done. Fortunately for me at least, whether or not you succeed is mostly in your hands, and it has to do with how you go about doing this. But I want to explain how to get the most out of this course. First of all, the more you put into this workshop, the more you're going to get out of it. If all you do is watch these lessons, you're going to gain some valuable tips, but becoming a great writer is kind of like learning how to play the cello, or shoot a bow and arrow, or knit a sweater, or speak Lithuanian. You can read all you want, but it's steady, hands-on practice that is what is going to make you a master. Everything in this course is stuff that the average person can learn if they work at it. Contrary to popular belief, writing is not some mysterious gift that a few lucky people have and other people don't. People fail to achieve their writing dreams because they want the skills without doing the work, and they give up too quickly. So if you want to see leaps in your writing abilities, keep in mind this is a gradual process. Enjoy that process. I'm going to be including some written exercises at the end of each section in this course. Do those exercises. You can post your stories in our online forums. When you do that, be open to constructive criticism. Really try to listen to the feedback that people give you. Sometimes that's hard for some people, but if you can really listen to that and absorb it, it will make you a better writer. Something else that will help you become a better writer is offering feedback to your fellow students. Please be nice about it. Be gentle. This is a course that's open to writers of all skill levels, and I really want to have an encouraging and supportive environment where everybody is improving upon their skills no matter where they are starting from. But do these things, and by the end of the course, I am confident that you will see great strides in your writing. Now, I'm going to be teaching you a lot of different techniques, and you can watch this course in one fell swoop if you want to, but that's really not the best way to get everything out of it. If you watch all of these lessons in one weekend, what's going to happen is that you're going to have so much information coming into your brain, you're not going to have time to absorb it all. Now, if you're really excited about getting going and you just can't help yourself, it's kind of like, having a big bag of chips or a bag of chocolate or something, and you keep going, just one more bite, and next thing you know, you've devoured the whole thing. Okay, that's fine. The difference between this course and a bag of chocolate is, number one, it has no calories. Number two, it is never ending. You can go back and you can digest those lessons again and again and again. So if you do go through it all in one sitting, then great, but plan on going back and watching these lessons in small doses. This is structured in a way so that you can watch a lesson of 5 or 10 minutes at a time and then give it time to settle into your brain. Particularly if you are taking time to do the lessons, do the exercises, which I include at the end of each section, which again is something I really recommend you do. The more you practice, the more you write, the better writer you are going to become. And again, if you're ever feeling stuck, if there's something you're not understanding, or if you're writing something but it's just not working, please feel free to post it, whether it's a sample of your writing or a question in our online forums, and I will do my best to give you some feedback and help you get back on track. If you really want to excel, if you want to get on the proverbial fast track to becoming a travel writer, I just want to briefly mention I also do offer one-on-one coaching. And don't worry, I'm thorough, but I'm gentle. I really want to encourage you here. So anyway, if you're interested in some one-on-one writer coaching, you can check out my website. Globejotting.com is my main website, and that's where you will find lots of samples of my travel writing, a lot more writing tips, some of my humor columns as well. But also, if you go to globejotting.com/coaching, that's where you'll find out about the writer coaching services that I offer. You can also email me. Dave@globejotting.com is my email address. So think of this course as a launching pad. I'm going to teach you the skills, and then it is up to you to work with those skills. And just be aware that when you are done with all of these lessons, you're going to have lots of new techniques in your brain, but then your journey as a travel writer will continue as you keep working with them. So for hopefully years down the road, you will continue to improve your writing based on what you experience in this course. You will see some big improvements as soon as you do the lessons. But if you're really going for greatness, if you're going for professional quality travel writing, be patient with that process. Once again, I will say that, and just enjoy it, and appreciate the fact that becoming a great writer takes time, but you can do it if you're willing to work at it. You can be a phenomenal writer, but in order to be a successful travel writer, you have to not only be a great storyteller, you also have to be a great story finder. And one of the best ways that you will find unique stories, original stories, stories that bring you deeper into experiences that are exciting for other people to read about, is to get out there and meet as many people as possible. Now, for some people this comes naturally. Other people I know are going to be watching this video going, oh man, I'm screwed. This is just not me. I'm not an extrovert. I don't just go out there and meet people. If you're in that second group, if you're a little bit on the shy side, I totally understand that. I can be that way myself at times. I love talking to people, but I feel awkward starting conversations. Well, I will tell you this, if you want to really get into some rich travel experiences, you need to push yourself a little bit and try to be more of an extrovert than you might be totally comfortable with. Now, here are some tips to make this easier. First of all, when you meet people, it is amazing what your body language gives off. And if you are smiling, you are a much more approachable person. I often do this. I let people come to me. I'll just hang out, and if they're doing something kind of interesting and I'm watching them, instead of standing there shoving my camera in their face without talking to them at all, which is what I see a lot of tourists doing, I'll just hang out and watch, and I'll smile, and I will let them see that I'm interested in what they're doing. And eventually, I get invited to join them. Now, once you've made some initial contact with somebody, whether it's just through smiling or just going up to them and saying, hey, how's it going? You know, you can do this. It's great if you're sitting in a pub or a coffee shop or any kind of sort of a community gathering spot. If you're sitting there by yourself or even with someone else, just say, hey, what's up? You know, nod a little bit, give them a little wave. They won't always respond positively, but sometimes they'll start chatting with you. Keep in mind that when you are a foreigner, when you are an outsider in a foreign place, and I'm not necessarily talking foreign countries here, just a place where you're out of your element, you are interesting to other people. They are as interested in you as you are in them. Not everybody's going to be, but some of them will be. And being open to meeting people really will make a difference in your travels. ask them questions about themselves, and don't be shy about even taking it a step further in asking about their lives. Ask if you can experience the way they live. Here's a quick example. I was in Siem Reap in Cambodia. It is the most touristed place in Cambodia because the town of Siem Reap is very close to the Angkor Wat Temple and a whole bunch of other really majestic religious sites. And I was out one day with a tuk-tuk driver. If you haven't traveled around Southern Asia, a tuk-tuk is like a three-wheeled sort of motorbike that serves as a taxi in a lot of countries. I was out with this tuk-tuk driver. It was me, the driver, my wife Katina, and my mother-in-law Gisela. And Gisela asked the driver, "Hey, what do you do at night? What do you do for fun when you're not working?" The driver said, "Oh, I go to the beer garden." Well, in Siem Reap, there's a street. It's called Pub Street, and it is where all of the tourists go at night. It's a big party scene. They go there to drink beer and meet other travelers. It can be a lot of fun. But I had a feeling that that's not what he was talking about when he said the beer garden. I said, "Which beer garden? Tell me about this beer garden. You're not talking about all the bars along Pub Street, are you?" He said, "Oh, no. It's only Cambodians. It's in a completely different neighborhood." I said, "Great. Will you please take me there tonight?" So my wife and I went. We hung out with the driver and a bunch of his friends. We ate some frog in chili peppers and drank some beer with him, and it was just a really fun night. If you are shy about meeting people, here's another line that will help open things up to you. Say this out loud. Even if you haven't finished, even if you haven't gotten through all this course yet, repeat after me. "Hi, I'm a travel writer." If you say that, it is a perfect lead into it, and I couldn't help but noticing that you're doing something that I'm very curious about. This looks interesting to me. Could you please tell me a little bit more about it? Sometimes people are very open to talking, sometimes they won't be, and that's okay. Then you just move on and you keep trying. But the more open you are to meeting people, the more stories you will stumble across. And if this is hard for you, also keep in mind that the more you do this, the more natural it becomes. So try to push past your shyness a little bit. I'm going to give you one final tip. This is one of my secret weapons for meeting people. I want to introduce you to my travel mascot, Sven Wondermoose. Sven Wondermoose has been traveling with me for about 18 years now. He has been all over the world. He's been to 5 continents with me, and I take lots of pictures of Svenny when I am out traveling. Now, I don't walk around everywhere waving around my stuffed animal because, hey, that's a little weird at times. But sometimes, I'll be like taking a picture, and people will see that I'm taking a picture of this delightful looking moose here, and they're kind of amused, and they'll snicker a little bit. If I see people noticing me and they're laughing, then I'll say hello to them. I will ask if I can take Sven's picture with them. It opens up all kinds of social avenues, as goofy as it sounds. So if you're a shy person, get yourself a travel mascot. Be conspicuous in taking photos. You'll feel a little goofy, but again, it will help you meet more people. The bottom line, put Svenny back on his ledge there. The bottom line is this. As children, we were all told, don't talk to strangers. That was very, very good advice for our parents to give us when we were young. But you know what? We are adults now, and we have a far better developed sense of when it's okay to talk to people and when it isn't. You will encounter people when you're traveling who are going to be a nuisance. Maybe they're trying to sell you stuff. Maybe they want to rip you off. Don't ever put yourself in a situation that feels dangerous. If there is any question in your mind, is this safe or isn't this safe? Always err on the side of being safe. I don't want to encourage anyone to go out there and do something that's going to get them hurt or robbed or anything like that. But, most of the people in the world are good people, and when you're traveling in an unusual place where you don't know your way around, people generally will help you. They're happy to chat with you. They are happy to tell you about their lives, and they are interested in learning about yours. Ultimately, we are all our own favorite topic. So, as much as you can, push yourself a little bit, be an extrovert, talk to strangers. It will lead you into much richer travel experiences, and those experiences will translate into some amazing travel tales that you can write.